Tim Ventura from AmericanAntiGravity.com, and I'd like to welcome you to STAIF 2006. This is one of the more interesting conferences out there in terms of breakthrough propulsion. It's added a new section just recently called Section F that addresses concepts of breakthrough propulsion physics. This conference draws heavily from the military and aerospace communities and also includes a number of Indian inventors who are participating in presenting peer-reviewed journal publications that are going into the American Institute of Physics Journal. So this is a very unique organization in that they're allowing the open source community to participate in something that goes into a journal publication, which is really unheard of in the past. The registration booths behind me are both empty for the time being. In a matter of hours, they will be filled with people registering to begin presenting in this conference, as well as the attendees. The idea being everyone meets for a plenary session at the beginning and then splits off into individual groups. In my case, that's Section F for breakthrough propulsion.
This footage of the STAIF conference registration booth was taken on the morning of Sunday, February the 11th, with registration scheduled to happen later in the evening. It's just to show its location in the same corridor that houses a number of conference rooms. The signs above denote those. And the banister that you'll see as I pan the other way leads downstairs to the Section F conference area where the breakthrough propulsion physics papers were being presented. This shot is actually a walking shot in the main conference area for the plenary sessions. This was taken on Monday, before the beginning of the first plenary session, which were attended by a number of keynote speakers making basically speeches about different aspects of the future of spaceflight, as well as the section chairs who outlined kind of the agenda for each section of the conference. This housed around 750 people altogether, and as you can see, it's definitely set up to be a very large auditorium-style seating arrangement. Once the conference itself began, once the plenary sessions began, I was precluded from shooting footage in this room. So my goal had been to try and get a feel for the room layout itself, show the setup, but unfortunately, at least this year, we weren't able to shoot any of the actual conference footage. Hopefully in the future, we will be able to get permission to do that. But for this year, we were really limited to shooting interview footage, which I think came out great and really showed just as much, I think, in many ways, about the character of the people presenting. Unfortunately, just not the scientific content.
Okay, so you're the setup team then for the STAIF, I guess the STAIF area.
Right.
And then, let me see, Jean, and then
Yes.
Jose. Okay. John.
And Jamie.
And Jamie.
And that's Sherry and Ronnie.
Oh,
Ronnie does all
okay.
the freight, Sherry does all the exhibit services.
Great. Well, can you tell us a little bit about kind of the setup for this conference? Kind of some of the challenges that you've had to work with or anything like that?
Well, the only thing we have is freight on this show. It's a very big freight show in a very small room. So you've got NASA and Lockheed Martin and a lot of other large companies trying to set up in a very small room with big displays. So that's mostly our biggest challenge, is trying to fit all these booths into a small area.
Yeah, you have a lot of stuff coming in from different parts of the country also, right?
We do. It comes in from all over. Some of it comes advanced to our warehouse, and then some of it comes in a 53-foot truck direct here.
Oh, okay. So it kind of comes in the back door, and then you guys have to arrange it and set it up.
We have to get it into their booths, and then once they get everything all set, we have to get all these empty crates back out and stored because there's no place at the hotel to store them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
now, are you working directly with the Institute for Space and Nuclear Power?
Yes, we work with Mary Bragg as our client.
Oh, awesome.
So,
awesome.
yeah, so they contract us. I think this is probably our 20th year of doing STAIF. We've done it at the everywhere they've been, we've done their show for them. So it's just tradition for us to come in and set up the show. So
yeah. Well, it looks like it's definitely, you guys are definitely kind of coming along with it. Yeah. Well, one of the things I'm wondering, over the 20 years, does it seem like this conference is growing a fair amount?
Yeah, it's always been a fairly elite group that's in here. It's always been a fairly small big show. It's a little big show, as we like to call it, because it's a limited number of booths, but very big displays, very big companies that come in to be a part of it. So it's always kind of been this size, just an elite group that come in to show here. So
okay.
That's always been the big thing of this show.
Yeah, I'm kind of covering the Section F groups, which are kind of the frontier breakthrough physics guys. And it seems like that particular section is adding a lot more diversity this year than it has in the past.
Yeah, it seems like the same exhibitors to us every year, but pretty much that's all we do is set up set up the booths. We have a lot of labor calls on this show, so we help people actually get their booths assembled and up. So for us, it's just about coming in, putting on the show, and then making sure everything runs smoothly, and then helping them all get back out. It's just we're the logistical end of making sure all the exhibitors are taken care of and have all their stuff set.
Yeah.
So.
Well, last year, one of the things, this was either 2004 or 2005, I'd seen Boeing apparently actually brought in a SNAP reactor, which is, I guess is a nuclear space reactor. Do you...
Possible. I don't really know what they bring in or what they do. We just set it up. As long as it's not hazardous, we don't care. As long as we're allowed to touch it, we're okay with that. Yeah. We employ the IATSE Stagehand Union as well as some of our own employees, and we come in and help set them up a lot of the time. Some of the stagehands may know a little more about what they set up. I don't.
Well, now, do you guys do any work with the security involving the conference at all?
No,
that's all
strictly
different,
set up.
Different
yeah, that's a different company that Mary contracts in to secure the hall and to watch the hall at night.
Oh,
all
okay.
we do is get the booth set, built, and then we move all the boxes out.
There you go.
So,
okay.
Yeah, that's Ronnie's job.
Oh, no, is this an individual on your team? Or?
Yes, this is Sherry. She's the exhibit service rep.
Sure. Tim Ventura.
She does all the logistics with the exhibitors. I actually work with the association, and then she sets up all the individual parts with the exhibitors.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
she handles all their stuff.
So you really work with making sure that the correct materials are in the correct booths and...
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anything additional, we just ask.
Yeah. Well, is it okay to ask, I mean, about your perceptions of the conference? Does it seem larger this year? More
It's her
stuff?
first year
My
working
first
it.
year, yeah.
She's new to the company.
Oh,
Like
okay.
2 months. Yeah, so she's not done this show before.
Oh, that's
so.
fine. This is my first conference here
Yeah,
also,
exactly,
so-
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's about the same
John's got my
size.
labor calls.
John's what?
Got my labor
Got
calls.
your labor calls, okay.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks again,
Sure,
Gene.
no problem. Pleasure meeting you. Hope I
Thanks.
know, what help we can be,
One
but we'll
aspect
try.
of most conferences that typically goes undocumented by the media is the setup. And in the case of STAIF, especially since I arrived a day early, I thought it would be exciting to show this part of basically what goes into setting up the displays and all of the exhibits that the attendees later filter in to see. The setup process had been going on for 2 days before this, so when I arrived it was already partially underway and continued into the morning of the plenary sessions. So it was exciting to be able to speak with the road crews who were subcontracted by major aerospace corporations and just try and capture some of their thoughts and impressions on the exhibits they were setting up for this conference.
Convention services in the Southwest. We're the decorator. Yeah.
That's good.
So, yep.
Is GES around for even in this area? They don't work in this area at all?
They come in occasionally and do shows, mostly bringing subs to us, and GES comes in and does it. So, yeah.
Awesome.
So we work with them all the time.
There you go.
Yep. We like them. Not GES, we work with Freeman.
Okay.
No, we don't work with
Sounds
Eagle
good.
Empire. That is GES. This company actually used to be GES.
At one time?
Yeah, and then the owners, or the managers of that left GES and started this, and then GES moved out of town and gave this company the contract, so.
Hey, Jack, can you sign
Okay. Yeah, if you could tell us a little about...
So who you work with in Seattle?
Oh, well, I'm with American Anti-Gravity, and we're doing kind of media coverage of the event.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, and who are you
Well,
again?
I'm with Extreme Exhibits. And
Oh,
I'm
okay.
setting up in the Pratt Whitney display.
Oh,
And we also drive it out.
so you mentioned driving through Flagstaff, right?
Yeah, we
What-
drive the exhibit out, set it up, dismantle, and take it back.
Oh, okay. So everything's been going pretty smoothly for this
Everything's
conference?
gone really well so far.
Yeah.
So far, so good. Yeah.
No, the section that I've been covering has a lot of new exhibits, but does it seem like you're kind of doing the same stuff they do most years, or?
The exhibits change slightly from year to year, but basically they all...
I don't believe it's an understatement to say that STAIF was unprepared to have cameras show up for the first time. Believe it or not, I was the only person there with a video camera that I saw the entire time. And as you can see from the upcoming shot, the conference was generally unprepared for that. Here we have 2 men wheeling carts down a tile hallway while taping is going on, very obviously. And this tended to plague us for the entire conference. It's not that they were intentionally being rude in any way. I think they just weren't sure how to work around the media, and that's definitely something we're going to have to kind of be more aware of next year.
Get a little bit of video telling about yourselves.
All right, now listen, you mentioned that earlier. I am an exhibitor.
Okay, well, who are you and who are you with?
I'm with L3 Electron Technologies Incorporated.
I'm sorry, which one?
L3.
L3, okay.
Yeah, we were just acquired on March 1st last year.
Oh, okay.
We used to be a Boeing company, and before that we were Hughes Aircraft. Shall I look at you?
Oh, yeah, and make sure to speak up.
Yeah, no problem.
There's background noise.
We do electric propulsion. We used to be under the Boeing group. The group that's here is pushing their electric propulsion, xenon ion thrusters.
Oh, okay.
And this is still pretty serious nuclear and electrical propulsion chemicals thing, so we're still showing our capabilities and our products.
Oh, cool. Now, does it seem like things are picking up as time progresses? Is there kind of a building interest in the xenon ion thrusters, or is it kind of...
Yeah, it's already a standard equipment on the Boeing 702 thing. There's 36 of them on orbit.
Oh, so this is up there, it's on the satellites, it's deployed.
Yeah, and we have people come over and go, wow, this is neat. Well, there's 36 in space. No way. You know, they're just not aware that it's already it's a proven technology.
Proven product.
Yeah.
As you may be noticing, some of the exhibitors themselves are a little shy, working in front of the camera. And that was a little bit surprising at first, but given the nature of this conference and the lack of coverage in previous years, it began to make sense. It seemed like a consistent theme. The camera would show up, and they would find a reason not to be in front of it. And again, for product exhibitors, that was kind of humorous at first, but somewhat frustrating.
The NASA Dawn.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, they have dual function, either orbit raising and station keeping GEOs, but for the spacecraft that's going into space and stuff, like Gmo was going. It's a real nice alternative.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again.
All right, you got it.
Yeah, and then I'm sorry, she's...
Carol?
Oh, Carol. I'm sorry, Carol, is it okay if I ask you a few kind of comments about, you like Lockheed Space, right?
I would rather you not talk to me, but talk to one of our
okay.
marketing people.
Now, what are you going to use it for? Is it open?
Okay, well, so you're Nancy. And
I'm Nancy, and I'm here from Huntsville, Alabama. I work at Marshall Space Flight Center in the Nuclear Systems office. We're here with an exhibit for STAIF. We have an exhibit for STAIF here. We're going to have some mock-ups, some hardware, and some information about the work that we do at Marshall and our activities in the nuclear area.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about some of NASA's endeavors with nuclear propulsion and nuclear power in space? Or
well, the program is pretty dynamic right now, so probably not.
Now, I've had to cut this part of the audio because directly after telling me that she can't comment on NASA policy, Nancy begins to describe some of her concerns about funding cutbacks for some of the larger projects, including many of the nuclear projects currently being undertaken in NASA and several government organizations. One of the undercurrents of the STAIF 2006 conference, at least in sections A through E, were worries about government cutbacks. I think the war effort has drained a lot of funding from some of these projects, and NASA's refocus on what's being described as heritage technologies is further limiting some of the basic research and even applied research in some of the more breakthrough areas of science. So I want to give Nancy credit because the NASA team that she was a part of was one of the most friendly and congenial groups at the conference. They took a lot of time to meet people and describe what they were all about. And I think they had a difficult exhibit also. They had a photo booth that they set up that would put someone's face onto a postcard in a spacesuit, which turned out to be somewhat difficult to work around in a crowded conference setting.
Launch vehicle.
Crew launch vehicle.
So like Apollo, you've got three parts to the system, right? You've got the booster, you've got the capsule, and then you've got your lander.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And they're going through design requirements now and just exploring different ways of doing that.
Oh, okay, okay. Interesting. What's your favorite? Well, let me see. I can't remember what the deadline was. Wasn't it 2018 for the lunar landing, or?
Oh gosh, I'm not certain about that. Now I know retire the shuttle by 2010, but I'm not certain on that. They're going to do a test of the CLV. They're starting to do some testing in 2010.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's not all that.
Yeah, that's not that far off.
And maybe, no, I take that back. It's 28, I think. 2008.
Well, that's pretty close.
With the first test. So the timeline, I'm really not sure.
Well, I should, back to the nuclear subject, with the work that you do, are you finding some of the newer technologies in terms of computer modeling and things like that are beneficial in terms of speeding up the design process and working through some of the...
Oh, I think, yeah, the computer processing information the way it can now in the software programs that you can do for modeling components, for example, it is very valuable.
Well, you know, another thing that I'd like to ask about, somebody very astutely made this point. In fact, they made it to me 4 or 5 times the other day. They said that the biggest concern about nuclear power in space isn't radiation, you know, but it's actually heat dissipation. That on some satellites that use, I guess, apparently prototype satellites using nuclear generators, apparently they have to use solar collector booms as heat dissipators. Do you know anything about that? Is that a challenge with the design process?
I don't know. I have to tell you again that we're really not certain what the groundwork looks like now. We're pretty much in a hole until we know more about it. I know that satellites use for station keeping use nuclear power, you know, to give it a little burst to keep it on track, what they call station keeping.
Yeah.
But as far as, you know, the nuclear program, I really can't tell you.
Oh, that's okay. Well, are you looking forward to this year's conference?
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't been here before, and I'm very interested to see what, you know, the exhibits and to attend presentations and learn more about what's going on.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks again, Nancy.
Yeah, I saw a guy come in one time and he just goes,
As you can see in this scene, the conference is really beginning to take form, at least in the exhibitors area. This is actually last-minute setup during the beginning of the plenary sessions, so the exhibitors and their road crews are literally just rushing to try and put as much together as rapidly as they can. And I think they were very successful at this. It was a last-minute job, and it was very hectic in this area, but it was fun to get some footage of them scurrying to get the booths up before people began to leave the plenary session and actually come into the exhibitors area to look at some of the major aerospace exhibits on breakthrough propulsion.
So this is so what kind of stuff do you guys bring, Nancy?
Brought some banners and some pop-ups.
Banners and pop-ups.
We're going to have, well, you know, the pop-up displays going back. We're going to have a photo booth.
Okay. Yeah, I'm impressed by how many exhibits are here this year. I think this is going to be a pretty stunning show. You know?
Yeah, I hope so. I haven't seen all our graphics in one place yet, so I'm excited to see what this is going to look like.
Well, I'm excited because I have photos of this room before it was set up.
See, we've got
so now
10 by 10. Figure out what all. Okay, so cool.
Okay, so...
Oh, so you focus on exhibits then, Kirk? Or?
That's what my job is.
So you get to probably travel a lot for NASA and...
Yeah, pretty good bit.
You got them all. How? Okay.
No.
Oh, it's in the old ones.
Your old one, and the ones are up in my...
So these...
Well, out of curiosity, how many conferences do you usually do a year then?
It varies. I mean, it depends on... I think
just for Marshall's sake, we'll tag up at headquarters and we'll do 4 to 5 a year.
4 to 5 a year?
But then you have other centers that do conferences in various parts of the U.S. And, yeah, it works out. It was a big team effort.
Yeah.
Was that labeled for you guys? That one was labeled for you guys?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I recognize. We stack these. No, we're open.
Oh, she's a space in there.
At this point, it may seem like I'm needlessly antagonizing the NASA crew with questions while they're busy trying to get their jobs done. But in reality, I had just set the camera down to go grab another disc to record some more with. So the camera is sitting there recording while I am walking around the room. This also gave me an opportunity to look at some of the exhibits being unpacked and try and pick some additional shots to get more footage and photos. By this point, the floor is completely covered with materials, at least in the center of the room, and you have things like radioisotope nuclear thermoelectric generators being unpacked and left literally lying around. Of course, these are all display models, so there's nothing dangerous, but I thought it was interesting to trip over something so otherwise rare and valuable.
Remember how everything's stacked?
Well,
This is pretty much how it's going to have to go back. So.
Well, it looks like it held pretty good.
Oh, it does.
I'm not exactly sure who the individual in this shot was, but I was surprised that after initially seeing him polishing the Hamilton Sunstrand sign, I saw him repeatedly doing this over a 10-minute period at different intervals. It was just strange to see someone put so much work into such a small area for so long a time. As you might notice when I pan back across later, you may periodically see him back up on the sign polishing again. So you guys have about, what, 2 hours left to set this all up then? Or?
Oh, it's till 4:30.
Yeah.
6:30 on it.
Hey, Kristen! Been around the block a few times. How you doing?
If you plug in there, you're going to plug it.
Here we have a very nice close-up of what's beginning to come together as the Lockheed Martin display, and we see the individual who had been polishing the sign earlier, this time going for a ladder to reach the middle of the sign to continue his polishing tasks.
Where?
KTC. Huh? I didn't know about We're going to open up these first. The carpet is not quite accurate to space.
Once you see us put it up, you're going to be like...
At this point, the NASA display didn't look very complete, but that's about to change in just a few seconds as they pull out a collapsing stand to mount their backdrops on. Believe it or not, this is a one-piece fold-out device that expands into an enormous display area for their backdrop. Very neat technology.
Pieces are in this one, yellow.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Actually, it's easier.
Oh, is that what I'm saying?
This shot gives us a better view of two more collapsible stands, in this case being set up by the Boeing team. Again, these fold out to enormous size and provide a very lightweight and effective means for transporting something that can hold a very sizable presentation area.
Yeah, you got all these small ones.
Yes, it doesn't need it.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
No, these big ones. Yeah, here's a big door here.
We've got two doors, one here.
You do have to
One door and one. One door there, one door there. We always move the panel back and forth.
Okay. Which one? I have the top.
It doesn't matter what I'm talking about.
Now, for you, we'll take.
Where is the seat? Seat's over there.
Yeah. It's flying. No, not yet.
There's a...
Connection. Look at that. Let's get windows on the back. See this? The carpet wraps around.
At this point, our setup footage is nearly complete, and as you can see, the entire process to set up these booths didn't take very long at all. I think that was in large part to the expertise and professionalism of the crews there, but I think they were also greatly aided by a lot of the professional equipment they brought with them, such as the collapsible stands. We're going to begin moving on to some of the exhibits now, which at this point are beginning to be unpacked and set up.
There's like 6 or 8 more. All right.
They don't have a plan for last year?
The doors go here?
It'll be next battle.
So this is a radioisotope thermoelectric generator. Looks like it's been used on Galileo, Ulysses, Cassini, and the New Horizons mission. This is brought in by Lockheed Martin Space Technologies. There's a cutaway on the inside of it to demonstrate the core.
Did you see it?
Here we have a Sterling RPS generator. Again, nuclear power generator for satellites.
Here, why don't you do this? I'll hold on to it. I'm not.
And this has a cutaway demonstrating the interior of the device. Lockheed Martin.
Because you didn't turn it, you were unscrewing it. No, I was unscrewing it, but it got to a certain point, it was too hard to do it, so I didn't have to thread it right. Not yet, it's about another quarter of an inch. Oh, I see what you
Would it be okay to ask a little bit about? Would it be okay to ask about the ion drives, so the Xeon ion thrusters?
Yes, these are Xenon ion. Sure.
Oh, okay. And so basically these, now, I remember from our conversation yesterday, this is for L3 communications electron technologies.
Yeah.
Apparently there are already several of these in orbit, right?
Many.
So this is kind of a standard deployment model then?
That's a standard one. Yeah, we build custom ones too.
Well, just out of curiosity, do you know how much thrust these tend to produce?
4,000 specific input, 4,000 seconds, roughly the big guys.
Oh, awesome,
yeah.
Awesome. But
we can build them, you know.
So because they have fuel, they're not really continuous mode, but you can do a longer burn than you can like with a rocket then.
No, you can burn them continuously.
Oh, okay.
For years.
Oh, before they run out?
Yeah, for years. You can go on for years, over 20 years.
Oh, okay. So Deep Space has been running with this thing on full burn for...
That was 3 years. 3 years to get to space. Yeah, that was 3 years, and I mean, you know, we build them to last a lifetime. You know.
Yeah. Well, out of curiosity, what are you guys continuing to make developments and enhancements to them? And
yeah.
do you have any?
We work on things like that. Yes.
Any big breakthroughs on the horizon? You think, or?
I don't think we can discuss anything.
Oh no, that's okay. That's okay. I was just curious. These are really neat-looking devices.
We're a company and we're in business. So.
Yeah.
Is that one of these? Sure.
Oh, and they're flashlights.
Right.
Yeah, these are definitely neat. Well, what do you guys think of the conference so far? Is it going pretty well? It's only the first day, but...
First day, I like what the Congress lady had to say.
Yeah. Heather Wilson,
I think,
she was good.
She was good. I think she stressed the most important thing facing the country.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Yeah, I thought the education thing was interesting. My wife is a teacher for disabled children, so it kind of resonated to some degree. Okay, well, thanks again, guys.
This conference video clip was part of the Boeing display. It was airing in a repeated loop for the duration of the conference, and really illustrated one of the primary themes of STAIF 2006, which was a renewed focus on manned exploration of Mars. Many of the exhibitors had this theme as part of their displays, and I believe that it was also mentioned several times in the context of heritage technologies and the Bush vision for space exploration.
DVDs, what does that hold? Well, they're only 30 minutes, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we get this one on standby.
Just take the glasses off.
Yeah, somewhere near that end. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. About over here. I think it is. Really. This is the first time I've been on
Put together is credible and get an assessment of its technology readiness. We'd love to be able to, buy it at the hardware store, but use existing qualified materials and components.
One of the things that really made STAIF 2006 memorable for me were the characters and personalities I met here. Now, you may have noticed the individual in the brown suit joking about buying hardware store equipment to use at work, but what you didn't notice, because we blanked it out, is that he's a researcher at Los Alamos National Labs. Overall, I'd have to say this has been a great conference. Thank you for your patience in watching our insiders footage, and hopefully we'll be able to do this all again next year.
I'm Tim Ventura from American Anti-Gravity, and this concludes our Section F coverage of the STAIF 2006 conference. We've seen an array of new ideas and concepts presented by some of the world's leading scientists, physicists, and engineers, but more importantly, we've seen a convergence of those ideas towards something much larger, a cohesive new technology providing faster-than-light travel, wormhole technology, and of course, anti-gravity. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully you'll join us again for our 2007 coverage next year.